All right. The topic today is what do you do if your workouts start to suck? Because I think we've all run into that, whether you're training, whether you're working out. You just get to a point sometimes where your workouts aren't that great. It's actually one of two things. It's either your workouts aren't that great or you don't even want to go to the gym to work out because you just don't feel it. You're stale, you're tired, you just don't feel like anything's happening. And now that we're in the second month of 2019, some of us may be starting to experience that because we've been, killing it in January. And now it's kind of like, okay, we're going into February. What do we do to keep our workouts from sucking? Number one, and for keeping us energetic and full of that zest for getting into the gym. I don't remember if anybody, I remember when I was young, I don't know if anybody's experienced this or not, but when I was young, and when I say young, 16 to 25 ishes, somewhere in there. Man, I remember going to the gym was such an event. Man, I mean, I look forward to it all day long. I actually, I knew what my diet was going to be. I knew what workout I was going to do. I would write it down. I mean, I was just totally, totally into it. When you start doing this a lot, and when you've been training for like 20 plus years, you start to realize that, or you find the training is not as exciting as you get older. And I think mainly because you start prioritizing other things in your day, like work, family, making money to support your lifestyle and all those things. And training doesn't necessarily become a back burner thing, but it does become something that, you have to think about in the grand scheme of things. So, I get it. If you're there, I totally get it, but what can you do to keep your workouts from sucking? And like I said, I mean sucking, you don't have any enthusiasm, no energy, no excitement. You don't get a pump when you go to the gym. You don't feel anything. You're kind of there, but you're not there. You're going through the motions. Why is that? And what do you do for that? And, you know, I've got some solutions to that. I run into that with a lot of private clients and people who come to me for advice on fitness and bodybuilding and stuff, where they're just like, man, I just don't feel like going to the gym. I'm completely exhausted and drained. And I have to say, first and foremost, a lot of times you have to look at their schedule and look at their nutrition and look at their training and look at all that stuff and make sure that they're not overtraining, because if they're overtraining, then that's something that's completely different that needs to be addressed. You need to look at, are they eating 5 to 6 meals a day? Are they drinking plenty of water? Are they taking the correct supplements? All that stuff being taken care of? If it is, then obviously it's not an overtraining problem. Or maybe they're not sleeping enough. Are they sleeping 6 to 8 hours a day? All of those issues need to be addressed first and foremost. But once you've climbed that hurdle, you've addressed all those things, and you're still like, dude, going to the gym sucks. I don't enjoy it. I don't feel like going to the gym. I'm just not having good workouts. What do you do? And my first piece of advice for that is what I call do the opposite. I find that I actually even intertwine this into a lot of my training programs to people who are getting ready for shows and stuff. If they've done the same thing for like 2 or 3 weeks and they're just getting a little stale, I'll tell them go in and do everything backwards. So for example, if you were doing chest day, right? And if you were doing like bench, incline, flies, and then followed with like a dumbbell or a decline bench, I'd say do that whole workout, but work from the bottom up. Start with decline, then go to like flies, incline, bench. Just basically twist everything around and do everything in an opposite fashion. And what happens is it just kind of wakes up the body when you do that. It's just a completely different way of training, different way of working out, and people seem to get really good results. Another thing that you can do is change rep tempo. Instead of going like, most people don't think rep tempo. They just go in the gym and they do their reps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever. But think about perhaps slowing those reps down, doing 6 seconds to 5 seconds on the lowering or eccentric portion, maybe a 1 to 2 second concentric or, push portion. And just by slowing the rep range down, you will drastically change the entire workout. Even if you do that for only 1 or 2 exercises, you'll see a big difference. So that's the second thing you can do to keep the training a little bit more lively and kind of keep your enthusiasm up in the gym. The third thing you can do is do less rest between sets. Now, typically, most people, if you look at them in the gym, they tend to rest about 2 to 3 minutes. I honestly think 1 minute and 15 seconds is about perfect. That's about ideal. Anybody who's doing 2 minutes, 3 minutes, a little excessive, unless you're powerlifting or you're super heavy weights or something like that. That's understandable. But for the most part, most average guys and girls who are watching this probably want to stick within the 60-second to 80-second range between their sets. So what you could do is increase that or decrease the actual amount between your actual set. So let's say instead of doing 60 seconds, go to 45 seconds. Play with that. That's another thing that you can do to kind of change things up a little bit. Also, grip change. A grip change is another way to drastically change your entire workout. And keep your motivation and your enthusiasm up in the gym. Like, for example, if you're doing everything medium grip, why not go wide grip for a while? Or try certain exercises that you're going wide grip. Another thing you can do is actually squeeze the bar. A lot of people don't realize it, but when you squeeze the bar and you actually push the bar together on certain exercises, you'll actually contract more chest muscle. You'll actually get the muscles to be engaged faster. So that might be something else that you'd want to try that I think you would like. So all of those little things in there are ways to change up the workout a little bit and get more from it, and essentially find ways to kind of break out of the rut. And that's really important, especially when you've been training for a long time, or you've been in the game for 20 years, whether you're a female or male, and you're going to the gym consistently. I think by human nature, our pattern is to do the same thing over and over again, and that's just kind of boring. So try to break out of that. Try to do something completely different. Try some of the things that I actually mentioned in there, changing up rep speed, changing the order of exercises, less rest between sets. Just change it all around. The second thing I'd recommend is just completely shocking the system. And I do this like probably I'd say every quarter, every 3 months or so, I do something that I call shocking the system. And shocking the system is essentially doing something completely different than anything you've ever, or you're used to doing, basically. For me, it would be like, hitting a bag. I got a punching bag in my house. I'll do that for like rounds of, 1.5 minutes or so. Muay Thai, boxing, hitting a heavy bag, hot yoga, doing hot yoga for like, 5 or 6 days. That's shocking the system. That's doing something completely different than probably what you're used to. And that will really create a little bit of a neurological loop for you. And you'll be like, wow, this is something cool, something different that I haven't done. Try that. I think you'll really do well with that. Some of the other things you can do: mountain biking, cycling, flipping tires, farmer walks, sled work, whether it's pulling a sled, whether it's pushing sled with weights, rowing machine. I mean, a lot of us see those things in the gym and we probably have never actually used them, like the sleds and the rowing machines and all that stuff. Try it out, give yourself like a week every 3 months that you just do completely different, what I call, not body weight work, but I like to call it like, it's kind of like cross training work, doing stuff that's a little bit out of the box for you, out of the zone, that'll keep you athletic, but at the same time will shock your system. So, think about that. Shocking your system is a really good way to keep enthusiasm levels high, keep your motivation in the gym high, and just break out of the rut and redundancy that most people start to fall in when they're training regularly. Okay, the other one that I like a lot is what I call doing non-stop round training. And this is kind of a cool thing that I picked up. I don't even know who I picked it up from, but I think it was back during the CrossFit times where I was kind of messing around with a little bit of that. And what I really love doing with this is I do it specifically when I go out of town. Last Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we were in San Diego for some business, and I did this at the hotel. And this is badass. I mean, it's very, very enjoyable. And you talk about a crazy workout. I usually end up in better shape after a vacation or by a trip than I am before I go, because I end up losing so much body fat by doing this type of nonstop round training. Basically, it's just simple. Pick 3 exercises that are full body compound movements, like a squat, a back row, and a push-up. And essentially do like nonstop 15 to 20 reps of each one without resting. Just basically, so I could do a push-up for 20 reps, I do a back row for 15 reps, and then I do what was the third one? A pull-up or something for 20 reps, and then I'll rest about 30 seconds. So this is just round training. Pick 3 exercises that are just hardcore fundamental movements: squats, push-ups, rows, back pull-ups, anything that involves more than one muscle group, like a compound movement, and just go boom, boom, boom. That's one round, wait 30 seconds, then boom, boom, boom. That's one round, wait 30 seconds. And you're probably only be able to do like maybe 3 or 4 rounds total. But man, that's an awesome way to get in shape fast. It'll completely just break the monotony of your normal training, and you'll start to see some really cool results in terms of the athleticism of your body, and just again break out of the mental rut of just lifting weights every single day over and over. And by the way, one of the things that we've been seeing really good results with is our XP Black formula. So you can actually combine that into the whole training program to get a little bit more metabolic boost and fat loss. And you can find that at thepureline.com/XP Black. Check that out. I think you'll see awesome results from it. We've been getting killer reviews so far. Now, the last thing that I think would be notable to include here, and I wouldn't be, I think would be smart to always include, is rest when necessary. You definitely, if you're going, and I mentioned this a little bit in the beginning, if you're finding yourself just completely fatigued, lethargic, and have a lack of motivation or desire to go to the gym, then the chances are that you may be overtrained a little bit. And that's normal. We do overtrain, especially when we have inadequate nutrition. A lot of the older philosophies and theories revolved around, well, there's no such thing as overtraining, there's just undereating. And I think that's true to extent. I think really the fundamental truth falls somewhere in the middle. I do think there's undernutrition or undereating, and there is overtraining. And either way, I think it's good to acknowledge that if you are tired, if you are restless, if you're not sleeping good, if you're finding yourself unmotivated to go to the gym, then maybe it's time for a break. It never hurts anybody to take a 20 or 30 minute, that would be great. It never hurts anybody to take like, a 2 to 3 day, maybe even a 7-day break from going to the gym. And maybe that could be with those times that you just completely change it up, that you walk, that you do a completely different type of workout, hot yoga, something like that. But I think that definitely needs to be said, because it potentially is something that people do. They do overtrain consistently. So in review, if you're finding that your workouts suck, if you're just not getting good pumps, if you're just finding that you're getting to the gym and you're kind of like, man, I don't have it, you're there but you're not there, then think about those things. Number one, try doing the opposite. Change everything up, work from the back up. Change your workout and exercise routine to where you're doing different lifts at different times, maybe starting with the last lift first and the first lift last, just basically shifting everything. Shock the system, try completely different things that you've never done before, whether it's boxing, biking, yoga, tire flips, farmer's walks, sled work, any of that stuff. Just change up the whole thing consistently and drastically, and I think you'll see better results. The other thing is, don't try that round training every once in a while. Maybe pick 3 exercises and just go boom, 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 rest for 30 seconds, then back, boom, 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 rest for 30 seconds. Just keep that going. That'll change things out pretty well. And rest when necessary. Like I said, a lot of us are overtraining. We don't realize it, but we probably are. So make sure that your supplementation, your nutrition is in order, and that you're eating correctly, and that you're supplementing correctly with the right supplements. Protein, creatine, glutamine, those are always your base. I use something called Glucogen X. We've got a product in our lineup. Somebody will put that in the comments. It's thepureline.com. And search Glucogen X. This is a tri-blend glutamine product that has sestamine, magnesium glycoglutamine, and Adjapure L-glutamine. And basically, it's just a very complex blend of glutamine to help improve recovery. I think that's an awesome product that you should be using. I use it before and after I train. It's flavorless, so you can throw it in a shake or a pre-workout. And the product is Glucogen X. So check that out. I think that could help you guys drastically if you're looking for recovery. So again, guys, those were the things that I kind of wanted to talk about today. It's Friday. Every day we come at you with something a little bit new. Remember, check out our XP Black, thepureline.com/XP Black. We've already got tons of reviews in. We're seeing great results, especially women and men. If you guys are in our 56-day weight loss challenge, by the way, at any of our 6 locations, make sure and stop by and add that to your arsenal. It'll help you burn fat a lot faster. It's got GBB in it, which helps increase fat mobilization so that you can burn more fat during your training. Again, we're seeing awesome results. So guys, have an awesome weekend. I'm going to go ahead and leave you with that. Hope everybody is doing completely well and having just a great January. I hope y'all kicked ass in January. We certainly did. We helped a lot of people, and it was just a good month overall. And I think that February is going to be better. I think if the weather clears up and we actually get some sun, I think it's going to be really nice, and we can all get outside and start enjoying the great outdoors. Also, remember that this weekend is Super Bowl Sunday. So that is a big deal for a lot of us out there. I know that we've got some Patriots fans that watch this, and Tom Brady, what is he, 88 years old now? And he's still out there kicking ass. So it's pretty amazing. That's for you, Paul, because I know you love Tom Brady at 88 years old, and he's still out there throwing the ball and slinging touchdowns, man. Unbelievable. All right, guys. I hope you guys have an awesome weekend. We will talk to y'all soon. We'll be back here Monday. If y'all need anything, email us, info@thepureline.com. Be happy to answer any of your questions. You can always call us at 1-800-632-1402 as well. All right, guys, we'll talk to you soon. Have an awesome, awesome weekend, and stay strong.